Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. We're now going to start Paper B of Grade 2 from the 2016 Past Papers booklet. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. All the information that you need to know can be found within these PDF documents. You'll also find a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and so if you want to refresh your memory and revise some topics for this exam, all of the video tutorials relating to the Music Theory and Practice workbook for Grade 2 are online for you to help you to understand all of the material that we're going to be using for this exam paper. You can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam, Grades 1, 2 and 3, and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room actually taking your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, it's all there for you. And so now you need to make sure that you've got a sharp pencil. I use a propelling pencil, a mechanical pencil, so it stays sharp. But you just need a sharp pencil, a ruler, an eraser, and then we're ready to go. So if you'll turn with me in your booklet to page 5, and we're going to start Theory Paper B. So this is the paper that was sat in the second exam session of 2016. Always write in pencil, because then if you make a mistake it's easy enough to erase it. And if you notice, it says answers must be written clearly and neatly. So if you're not sort of using a sharp pencil and keeping it neat and tidy, you may risk losing some marks unnecessarily. It's always best to try this paper on your own first of all. It's better to learn by your mistakes. So have a go at this paper first on your own and then come through to the video again, and I'll work through the questions with you to go over it. It's always best to learn by your mistakes. And so let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 says to add missing bar lines to these two melodies. So we've got to watch out. There'll be two different time signatures. These are two separate questions. So don't just get carried away thinking it's a continuation of this first one. And very generously, the first bar line is given in each example, in each question. So question 1, the first part, the time signature is 3/2, which is 3 half notes or 3 minim beats. So we're counting 3 minim beats per bar, 3 half notes, and you can see we've got 1, 2 there, and those two make a minim or a half note. 1, 2, 3 bar line. And so let's carry on in that vein. So 2 here again, 1, 2, 3 bar line. 1, 2, those two make a minim or a half note, bar line. 1, 2, and then those two together make a minim or a half note, bar line. 1, 2, 3, double bar line at the end, so we know we've not gone wrong, so that's all correct. Let's look at the next one. So now we're counting 2 crotchet beats or 2 quarter notes. So we're counting in units of crotchets or quarter notes, and the first bar is given. Now 2 quavers or 2 eighth notes make a crotchet, and then don't forget that a triplet squishes 3 into the time of 2. So although there are 3 quavers here or 3 eighth notes, they are squished into the time of 2. And if you weren't sure about that, you can figure it out because they've given you the first bar line, so you can now use that to help you with the next bit. So we know that all of those 3 are in the time of 2, which is 1 crotchet beat or 1 quarter note. So we know that that also is 1 quarter note or 1 crotchet. So we've got 1, 2 bar line. We beam semiquavers or 16th notes in the time of a crotchet. So we have 4 together, which make a crotchet. So there's 1, 2 beats again. So you don't even really need to do the maths because you know 4 quarters make 1 crotchet beat, 1 quarter note, and then we've got half, quarter, quarter, which make 1, and there's another one, double bar line, so we know that we're correct. Let's move on to the next question. Now question 2 asks us to write a 4-bar rhythm using the given opening. Now in the new 2018 revised syllabus, this 4-bar rhythm composition will no longer appear in the new papers, and so that's not going to be part of your exam from now on. So we're just going to skip that because that will no longer be part of your paper, and move on to question 3. So question 3, name the keys of these tonic triads. We've just got to watch out because we've got different clefs, and then we need to take in these accidentals as well. But also the absence of accidentals will also give us a key. So to begin with, we know that a tonic triad is built of the first, the third and the fifth note of a scale. And so if we just get the first note, that's half of the job done, that's half mark. So this low note here, if we work down D, C, B, A, G, that's a G, so we know that it's going to be G something. Now we've got a G, B, D, and so G major has F sharps, and so that doesn't incorporate into this triad. G minor should have a B flat, and because there's no B flat, we know that it's not G minor, it must be G major. So you need to really be sure of your key signatures of what the major and minor keys have, and I would always make a note of those before you even begin your exam paper. So moving on to the next one, our first note here in bass clef all cows eat is E flat. And then E flat major has B flat, E flat and A flat, so we've got a B flat and an E flat. This G natural isn't affected by the key signature. We know that it's all part of the major key signature. If it was a minor key, we haven't actually incorporated that in this exam yet. It's not been encountered, and so there would be another flat there. So we know it's got to be E flat major. Okay, so now our top note is A, because we've gone from middle C, or good boys deserve football always, or CBA. So we know that it's A something. Now A major would have a key signature of F, C, G sharps. There's no C sharp here, so we're not using the major key signature. A minor is related to C major, which has no sharps or flats, and that's what's happening here. So we're in A minor. Let's look at this next one. So we're in the treble clef now. The space is spelled face, F-A-C, so the bottom note is F. F major has B flats and nothing else. F minor would have lots of flats, and we haven't actually come across this in this grade yet, so it must be F major, because there's no B for the flat to affect there. Okay, this next one, our bottom note is good. Every good boy deserves, D. D major should have a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. There's no F sharp present, and therefore it must be minor. And D minor is related to F major, which has B flats, and so that wouldn't come into this triad anyway. So it's D minor. There we go. Let's turn over the page. And we're still using the same information really in question 4, because we've got to write out some scales now. So question 4 says add the correct clef and key signatures. So we've got 2 actions so far. We want the clef and the key signature to make each of the scales named below. Remember to include any necessary additional sharp or flat signs, so we may have a third action. Because if you remember, in a minor scale, harmonic minor scale, we need to raise the 7th. I tend to choose harmonic minor for this grade 2 because it's the simplest of the minors. There's just raised 7th going up and down, ascending and descending, and so we'll use the harmonic minor form when it comes to it. So first of all, we've got to make this scale accurate for D major. So for it to be D major, it must begin and end on a D, and therefore it must be bass clef, good boys deserve. So that's part 1. Part 2 is the key signature. So D major is F sharps and C sharps written in the bass clef, so it's the second line down for good boys deserve football, and the C sharp is second space up, all cows. Make sure they're correctly positioned. And then for a major scale, there are no extra additional sharps or flat signs, so that's now complete. Let's look at E minor. So E minor, of course, must begin and end on E. And for that to be the case, this must be treble clef. The key signature, the second action, E minor is related to G major, so we need a key signature of F sharps. And then now we do need this third action. Remember, any necessary additional sharp or flat signs, we need to raise the seventh. We're going upwards, ascending, so we count upwards. Remember, if it's descending, you've got to count backwards. But we're ascending, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The D has to be raised with a sharp sign. And just to point out, we've used the harmonic minor form. If you're doing the melodic minor form, you would write melodic here, and you'd have to remember that ascending is the raised 6th and 7th. But I always specify that you should use the harmonic minor for grade 2. It's easier to learn it in that order. Well, there we go. We've got to the end of question 4. We'll look at the next questions in the next video. I do hope that's been helpful to you. If you're finding this beneficial, give me a like. That'd be really encouraging to me. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more to come. And please do visit sharonbale.com to make full use of all the resources there to help you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.